Hello and welcome to the Daily Brown Bag. Today we're going to be talking about our predictions for 2014. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Yeah, good morning, Chad. 2013 sure was an interesting year. A lot of interesting trends. Content marketing really came into its own. Of course, we saw major algorithmic updates from Google, Panda, and Penguin, and everybody's looking at 2014 and trying to figure out what's going to happen. And there's a lot of discussion. Content marketing is still strong. You're hearing these new terms like native advertising, and of course, digital marketing agencies are trying to figure out how social fits in and what they should be offering. So I was hoping today, Chad, we could dive into what our predictions are, particularly around these new terms, native advertising, where we see these coming into play, and what folks in our community need to know for 2014.
Yeah, great question, Adam, and it definitely is on a lot of people's minds at this point, trying to figure out what they're going to do with their budgets and their strategy for 2014. I do think that, as you mentioned, 2014 content marketing will continue to be a very important part of a digital marketing strategy, and that's really because as it continues to develop, and what content marketing is, it continues to be really the kernel of your online marketing program, because part of your content marketing is for SEO, part of your content marketing is for social media, and then we're starting to see this emergence of native advertising, which means now content marketing and content is becoming part of your advertising program. So I think it will continue to emerge. I think what some of the things that will also continue to happen is that there will be new ways to develop content. So it used to be that you had to hire a very expensive subject matter expert to develop your content, and that it was useful and valuable to people who were reading it. I think that some of the things we've been doing have been able to bring that the ability for smaller companies to be able to do good content marketing. We're helping bring it down market, but there's people who are even going further than what we're doing by even creating some software and products that are going to help businesses that can't even afford an agency to be able to start creating relevant, interesting, contextually relevant content through software approaches. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. That's going to then merge into native advertising, and so the big new place that people will start using content that they're creating is native advertising. And native advertising really is what publishers are seeing. The people who have websites out there that used to sell banner advertising, what they're seeing is that the cost per click, or the click-through rate that they're able to get when they place a link that says here's a related story to the one you're reading, and have that either stay on their website and go to a piece of paid content, or leave the website and go to a piece of paid content, the click-through rates and the amount of money they're able to make off that is significantly higher, which is finally seeming to be able to address some of the issues that online publishers are having in terms of actually making real money off their ads.
Wow, yeah, Chad, so much there to sink your teeth into. So in some ways, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Content is king that was something we said in SEO 5 years ago, and here we are headed into 2014, and everything you're describing has at its source is high quality content. And so this theme continues to be important. We heard it in San Francisco a couple weeks ago at the Leading in Local conference. We heard HubSpot talking about this. This was just a fascinating session where they said the key to inbound marketing is content marketing, and any firm that has not figured out how to assembly line high quality content generation and become a publisher and turn their assets internally, their resources, into mini journalists, has really not figured this out. So it all is kind of coming together, but then you branch into these new terms, Chad, like native advertising, which I think is confusing for a lot of people. I know it is a bit for me, and I think one of my predictions is in 2014 we will see a lot of debate over exactly what that is. Is native advertising an advertorial? Is native advertising, as I heard you describe it, a way to buy a paid link placement, which sometimes it sounds like it is? Is it contextual advertising with just a different ad copy format? I think these are all valid questions, and this term is so new, and it is the next iteration where content marketing is merging with display advertising, that we'll see some very interesting debates and flare-ups as that's worked out and people try to nail down the revenue models. But what's clear, and I think your final point is right there, and I want to punctuate it, is the small digital agency needs to be right in the middle of this, or they need to be partnering with someone who understands all these pieces, because these just can't be disjointed. And it is tough if you got social over on one side and display advertising and PPC and then your SEO bucket and your content creation. They really are merging, and it is very fascinating. I think it will be an exciting year. We'd like to hear your thoughts on the topic, of course, too. Please give us some comments, and we hope you'll subscribe and join us again next year for our Brown Bag series.